and Laura. Hey, congratulations for being part of this year's Lego Masters.
Thank you.
Hey, so tell us, could you retell the story on how you folks got the call to be on this prestigious show? How did it happen?
Yeah, so we submitted just a blind audition tape, which there are so many ways that people end up on the show. Everybody has their own story. A lot of people are found at Lego conventions or through scouting or through all of these different means. We were one of the few teams that applied cold.
Yeah.
And so we just got a call on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
It happened to be a call from Switzerland.
Yeah, because I didn't pick up. I think they called both of us.
Yeah.
Because then I saw a Swiss number.
Which I think it's just because somebody was traveling. But the call was just, hey, we saw your casting tape and we want you guys to audition for Lego Masters. And so we got that call and, you know, it was just kind of off to the races, you know, doing so many stages of auditioning, interviews, build challenges to eventually make our way onto the show.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you have to build something for your audition tape or you just basically...
Yes, I don't think that anybody gets on the show without proving their building chops in some way or another. You definitely have to prove that you can build, and not only that you can build on a time constraint with, you know, interviews happening, you know, you definitely, they definitely want to have candidates that can do all of those things, which are all things that nobody has ever done before when they're building with Lego. So it's like a brand new sort of way of building that I think everybody adapted to.
You folks recalled what you built during that tape?
We do. Yeah.
So for the big
builds.
Which one should I talk about? Both of the days?
Let's talk about, well, we built a couple things.
Yeah.
But I think ice cream is the big
one. We built something called Ice Cream Island, which we had to show that we could build spheres and that we can build in that technical aspect. And we wanted to create a fun fantasy story where there's a big scoop of lemon sherbet in the middle of the ocean. And then from that is Ice Cream Island with different ice cream cone trees. We have a banana split boat. We have an ice cream sandwich raft. We have shake, like vanilla shake palm trees, a rocket pop, an orange sickle, a whole bunch of different fun ice cream. And then to show our shape sculpting with spheres, we made, you know, the different ice cream cones with the balls of the ice cream on top.
And there are many different ways to make spheres out of Lego, so we kind of showed all of them. We were like, we can do all of these sphere types.
We built a half sphere on the bottom, which was the island, the lemon sherbet island, and that was when we had a lot of fun and a lot of creativity kind of thinking of that idea.
Yeah.
Now, you two been building Lego since you're very young. In fact, on the show, they actually found, or you sent in a footage of you two, you know, playing together as brother and sister. Could you talk about that? Like, you know, why you stuck to this hobby for such a long time, both of you?
So I think it's something that has really brought our relationship together as siblings and something that we could do collaboratively where we weren't really arguing or fighting a lot as kids. And so we did start, he's 3 years older than me. So he started building at 3 years old. And then I started building when I was 3 and he was 6, and he wanted to kind of bring me in. He was the OG builder, wanted his little sister to be able to play along with him and build along with him. And we were able to send in that cute footage of us. And it's something that has kind of shaped our relationship, along with going to Legoland a lot, growing up together, playing Lego video games. What else do you think?
Yeah, all of those things are true. And I think Lego building it's a tactile hobby. It's something where you can just be on the floor, totally zoned in on something. And, you know, it doesn't really give you the space to like ever be fighting or bickering. Like we just always found it to be a collaborative thing. It was never combative. Like we weren't playing like war with each other, you know, with the minifigures. We were building things together. Like Lauren would get these awesome Belleville princess sets. And I would just look at them and be like, I've never seen those bricks before. I want to help you build that. And so, you know, and so it just kind of became this back and forth. And I think, as Lauren mentioned, those Lego video games really helped enhance it as well, because then we had all these playable characters that we loved. We'd pick our favorites, you know, we'd be on the computer doing that all the time. So there have just been so many stages of the Lego journey, and a lot of it has been shared together.
Well, of course, now you're both adults. I mean, how often do you actually get together and complete builds?
I'd say not incredibly frequently. I think
like the holidays
are good because we don't live in the same place. So we're usually kind of building on our own terms a lot of the time, but then we are able to come together and build some big things together every once in a while. We just completed a really big Beauty and the Beast castle build together. That was really fun. And so you can see part of it
right there.
And so so we do find our moments, but I think it's just it's not quite the same as when we were little kids. We were getting sets all the time and building those, you know, like next to each other all the time. So you just have to pick your moments where you can still collaborate.
Being a brother and sister on the show, do you feel that was a great advantage during this competition?
I think something that was nice about being brother and sister is that if there's ever any sort of argument or just a small disagreement, we know it can just brush off each other's shoulders because we're family, and that'll be fine. And we can be open to talking about different ideas and feel comfortable about it, versus that of course, we can't speak for anyone else since we don't know what it's like to be on the show without someone who's your sibling or family member. But I know for us, we felt that was probably a bit of an advantage just in the communication aspect.
Yeah. I think it also helped us settle on our story ideas really quickly. We come from a very similar place in terms of what we like. Yeah. And there's this like big overlap. And I think a lot of where that overlap is what you see on the show. Like we both love fantasy. We love fairy tales. We love characters. We love Disney. Our
final build was our family dog. Like...
you see a lot of like kind of our shared interests and experience. And so we never really had a debate over what we were going to build. It was always very quickly like, okay, that works, you know? And we both might have, you know, interests that lean one way or another, you know, like I'm more of like a sci-fi guy, you know, and like maybe I would have built some spaceships, you know, but like I think the place where we overlap is like huge, you know. We were able to find that middle ground and really build things that we both were really excited about and proud of.
Speaking of your build for that dog, was that actually really heavy? Because it looked heavy to us audiences.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Lego's heavy. I think, I mean, as you saw with a lot of the puppets out there, you know, like, you know, you see people holding it with like two hands, you're like, oh, it's like.
And even the smaller ones, I know Steven said like his arm was hurting, and ours was like twice his size, and Bryan had to hold it with one arm too. Like,
it's just, Lego's heavy, and so that was one of the tricky parts of the challenge, you know, is just, unlike some of the other challenges, this one had no size restrictions. So we had no idea what size to build it. Lauren and I referenced it off of Will Puppet. And we were like looking at his size.
That's the only puppet we could see.
So we were like, okay, we're going to build something around that size because that's a puppet. And then, but that size in Lego is a lot heavier. And you saw a lot of other teams take a smaller approach that were probably about half the size of Will Puppet. And those were lighter. And so I think it was just, you know, something where we just didn't anticipate, you know, like that it would be as heavy as it was.
Yeah, and that you'd be concentrating on memorizing lines, performing, and holding it while sitting down, all in a really quick time frame, like without much being able, like there's no extra practice time or anything.
Right.
Well, one thing for certain, if there was a 60-mile-per-hour wind fan, your dog would be left standing. That's it.
Strong.
What was the puppy's name?
Hazel.
And most excellent. Now, who did you find the best experience of interacting on the show? Was it with the judges, the host, or other contestants?
Do we have to pick one? I think it's so hard to pick. We loved everybody, but I mean, the closest bonds that we formed on the show were with the other contestants. We became like a family. We were so close with everybody. It's like whenever we talk to them now, it's like talking to old friends that we just know so well.
Yeah, and we all bonded so quick. You could see in episode 2 when the first team sadly is eliminated, how we're all crying, and we had all been through this journey that is a very emotional, stressful, bonding journey that you really do build close relationships, and you're bonding over a shared passion that everyone has. And we're spending much more time awake than asleep with these people and together.
In the van, super early in the morning,
super late at night.
Yeah, it's just, it's such a bonding experience. And I mean, with the judges and Will, I mean, we love talking with them. It's just that with them, we're seeing them only when we're on set, you know, and that's just a small fraction of the time of, you know, our whole experience there. And we're spending all of our time with the other contestants. And so
I think what's really special is we have made these connections and relationships and friendships, I think, to last a lifetime. And we still all talk daily, our whole group of 24 of us. And we're really looking forward to reconnecting with people in the future, hopefully in person at conventions one day, and hopefully, you know, just fun friendships to keep.
So those tears in this last episode were real.
Oh, very.
Oh my gosh.
Very.
Yeah.
Every
every episode, like
it's heartbreaking.
It's just, I mean, and that's the difference between, which we didn't know, you know, between watching the show and then being there and knowing these people, because when you're watching it, you think, oh, they're competitors, they don't know each other that well,
but we like, know each other so well.
You know each other so well. It is like,
so much time together.
It's like having to say goodbye to one of your closest friends. You're not going to see them for who knows how long.
And it's such a quick, you know, they're eliminated and you don't see them anymore.
Right.
And it was so heartbreaking thinking, and you know, we would go into vans every day from our hotel to set, and our van buddies were Michelle and Natalie, and we grew such a close relationship with them. And then being in the bottom two with kind of our like show besties was heart-wrenching. And we performed together with them. We were so close that made it even more difficult, because neither of us, I mean, you don't want anyone to go, but neither of us are like,
neither of us want the other team to go. You know?
So we're like, this is so sad. Like, very emotional.
Terrific. Well, let me wrap it up with one more thing. I think this question is more directed towards Bryan. Where's your jacket? Your signature jacket?
Bryan blazers.
So I do not wear blazers regularly. Funny enough, that's something that's show Bryan. I hadn't worn a blazer in so long before the show, and Will kind of loved that. That was one of his running gags with me, because he knew that I wasn't like a blazer guy, so he decided to call me Blazer Bryan. And so and then there was one episode where I took it off, and he was like, "No, we can't see that."
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen my brother in a blazer, but that's what the show.
That's what it is in the show. So don't expect to see me in a lot of blazers going forward. But I'm glad that we got to have that sharp look for TV.
Yes.
Well, now we know what it is like to be on TV and what it is in reality. Bryan, Lauren. Hey, thank you very much for speaking to us about Lego Masters, and once again, congratulations. It sounds like you had an awesome experience on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.